So I would suggest only listening to this video if you are absolutely sure that you don't mind a little bit of a spoiler for Sunday's show coming from Xbox. And again, I'm going to be covering the show early from Mooch's channel, so you guys want to go ahead and check that out and let me know what you think, because I think obviously this is going to be a pretty big deal. But again, we got some very interesting tidbits from Xbox, and the interesting thing here is it seems like we've gotten some confirmation on what to exactly expect, and I feel like that is pretty cool. Now, you guys might not agree, and some of this might seem pretty obvious, and this is a big part of it too, right? When some of these things come about, right, it's very obvious what's happening, right? Like it for me, anyway. Back in 2018, when Microsoft started buying studios, and everybody got real excited, and everybody was like, "Well, why aren't you real excited, crap?" And I'm like, "Listen, I get that they just bought these studios, and I think that's cool. And of course, they would add more down the line, which is awesome." But at the same time, I was very realistic, and I said, we're probably not going to see any games from the majority of these until 2023, 2024. And so when you're back in 2018, 2019 saying things like this, people really hate on you, right? I got a lot of hate for saying that. People really didn't want to hear that they were going to have to wait that long for games, but we're in a different era now. This isn't the 360 era. Think about the 360 era for just a second. We got 4 Gears of War games, 3 really good ones from the main team. We got 3 Uncharted games. We got 3 BioShock games. We got 3 Dead Space games. We got 3 Mass Effect games. We got 2 Dragon Age games, 1 Dragon Age DLC that was huge, that was almost half the size of the original game to begin with. We got a lot of... How many Assassin's Creed games did we get? And we got the good ones. The ones with Ezio. And we got Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. We got really, really good games. And it's so interesting because they could do that back then, right? I mean, you could do crunch, you could do this, you could do that. And now it's like we get 1 game per friend. Like, do I really think we'll see another Halo this generation? Probably not. The last Gears of War was on a 3-year cadence. Well, that 3 years would have been last year because it came out in 2019. So, they're probably still in the earlier stages of making a new Gears. We might see a teaser for that. But, again, it's pretty interesting when you see these types of things. And so what I felt was interesting was a lot of people were telling me, no, don't start buying into them teasing Fable. It's not Fable. You're going to get your hopes up, temper expectations, do this, do that. And my always thought process to that was, why temper expectations, right? I get before why, right? And they would tell us, temper expectations, blah, blah, blah. I get before, like we used to hype up stuff in back in the day, and there was nothing to really hype up. They had 4 studios, and, it was unfortunate. But industry people are saying Fable 100% going to be there. That's been confirmed now by 4 different people, so Fable's going to be there. If you don't know, Fable is like my jam. It's like one of my top RPGs of all time. People might go, oh, well, it was never... Like, to me, the level of like goofiness, the level of like the realism with it, I just love it. I've played all the Fable. I even like the Fable Connect game, right? You form that bond with your horse. Yes, it wasn't as good as the other ones, but it was still cool. And even the Fable arcade games I thought were pretty interesting. So I love Fable. That's the game that I'm most looking forward to, obviously. But the other one that was now 100% confirmed was Avowed. Again, that's just you can use common sense and come to the same conclusion, to be quite honest with you. The only other thing that I would say is Hellblade 2. Like, Phil Spencer mentioned some of these games, so it's quite obvious that that's kind of what's happening. But again, the one that I thought was very interesting was, and this comes from forms of leaks, is that Sega will have a presence at the showcase, and potentially Jet Grind Radio is going to make a comeback and will possibly be a day one Game Pass game. This would be huge, I think, because if you look back to it and you see that that was a franchise that was exclusive to Xbox after Sega kind of folded and got rid of the Dreamcast, when they stop making hardware and things like that. So I think that would be a pretty massive game for Microsoft to get as well. And again, just in general, the excitement level that we're seeing right now with the fans and stuff, I think is pretty interesting and pretty cool. So I really want to see what they have to showcase. So seeing some of these leaks early, a lot of them are, like I said, just something that is, we've seen these type of things before. You get really excited for them, and people are usually say, "Hey, well, temper your expectations." And I'm not planning on doing that. I think this is going to be finally be the year where they have things ready within. The things that they're going to show is probably going to be within. Some stuff like Starfield and Forza are going to be relatively soon, September and October. Which, by the way, Forza Motorsport leaked. The release date on that is going to be October 10th. Of this year. So you're going to have Starfield September 6th, Forza October 10th. I still think they're going to do Stalker 2 possibly in December, and I still think they're going to have something big for November as well. It wouldn't shock me to see Hellblade 2 in that spot, but it also wouldn't shock me to see them put that into a slot early next year so they can keep kind of the momentum rolling. But I don't really see them going 4 or 5 months without a game from the first party. So we'll see what happens. I think they still need a holiday game, and it's going to be cool to see how they kind of handle that. But like I said, and I mentioned this I think in a video the other day, was from somebody who was actually there kind of hanging out with some of the executives at Xbox, was they said that people should be prepared to shit their pants from their show. So we'll see if that's actually something that happens or not. I think that it's going to be funny to see the reactions and some of the damage control. Like I've already kind of said that I expect there to be people to say, oh, well, that wasn't running on Xbox, or some kind of other excuse. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to see a lot of cool things from them, and it's an exciting time just in general to be a fan, to finally see like this redemption arc possibly come through, and getting stuff maybe from Sega, getting stuff maybe from these outlets that traditionally maybe wouldn't even care about Xbox or deliver for Xbox games. I think that's really cool, and that's really something that they can kind of hammer home with a good message. And are people going to drop their PS5s to pick up an Xbox? No, probably not, but they could pick up an Xbox in addition to the PS5. I think that's something that can potentially happen as well along the way, and that's an exciting prospect to see that Xbox gaming can continue to grow, and we'll see what happens. I think Phil and everybody has a really good idea on what they want to do, and we're going to get a very clear picture very shortly, in a matter of hours. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Crab Gamer. This is Crab Gamer Reviews. I hope you guys have a good day. Rack 'em up. Crab Gamer out.